have Pablo Picasso Shoestring here. He's gonna sign my Yeti bucket.
Alrighty.
A true master at his art form. Can't believe the lighting situation in here. Oh, that's better.
That's usually the direction I'm going, that arrow. And if I'm going the other way, I'll do the arrow there.
Yeah.
Oh, I might not have enough for that.
Might have had to put the arrow like upstairs to bed.
I should have thought of that.
I will be selling this this Yeti tagged Hobo Shoestring autographed thing for $10,000. It'll be
It's actually worth more than Mark Hamill's.
Yeah, it's worth more than the lightsaber.
Yeah. Hobo Jedi.
Yeah.
You put the date or just leave it blank?
Yeah, put the date.
Okay.
4/14. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed an artist in action.
And there's Hobo Shoestring.
Yeah, that's
showing me your shirt too.
Yeah, put one on there, buddy. Yeah, just right down the middle of it.
I'm holding it up for you. We both got ours on.
Yeah, I'll be wearing that the rest of the weekend. That's great. Yeah, just put it right down the. I don't know. Can you put it in the middle or down? I don't. You're the artist. I'm not telling you what to do.
End up messing it up right now. Yeah. But it's supposed to be some special like that iron-on stuff.
Yeah, you can feel the texture on it.
I remember back in Kmart, back in the 70s, they used to press that.
Oh yeah, the big.
That smelled so good to me.
What was? Those things had a name. It was
those iron-on press.
Yeah, I don't remember. They had a specific name, I thought, but maybe not. I don't know.
Remember the patterns you used to go through these filing cabinets and find what you wanted to make, and then you cut it out around the pattern, around the material. My mom made my own clothes too in the 70s. Pants and everything.
Yeah.
You put them dumb knee patches in.
Yeah.
Could have fell off the moon on them.
Right.
All right.
Now people pay good money to have those knee patches already part of their clothes when they buy them.
Especially hobos, they're starting to. Of course, they cut their own and make them look a little more rough cut. No, I'm just kidding. You wake up and there's shoestring everywhere. You'd kill me.
No.
Well, you'd make me paint. I know that.
Yeah, we'd get you a paint roller.
I like painting actually.
Yeah, in small doses I can do it, but it gets a little.
I like doing dishes because it gives me something orderly to do.
Yeah,
folding clothes.
There's certain things like that I like and certain things that I don't like. Dishes I had to do a lot when I was a kid, and I don't like doing them now. That's why I have the dishwasher. But yeah, we never had a dishwasher. But mowing lawn, I didn't like it as a kid, but I like it now. So
cooking's another good one too.
Yeah, I love cooking.
Everything's got an order to it.
Yep. Now baking is a whole nother.
That's my favorite. I
I
like making my own homemade candy too, my hard candy.
yeah,
Uh,
there's like a science to that. Like it's got to get to the certain
yeah,
like.
you gotta get a thermometer.
Yep.
It's like a 209 degrees in
Yep.
order, then you take it out. I mean, you can't be a degree under or over; it'll crystallize or
Right.
scorch.
Yeah, it's like chemistry.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting one of these
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll go over to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh,
I
you
think
can
they
eat
have
'em.
them. Yeah, they have Velcro, like all these little things, dude. I'm telling you, if you're gonna have the stupid bucket and pay a small fortune for it, you might as well.
I was wondering what those little slice
Yep.
holes were.
Yep, there's some stupid Yeti engineer came up with that.
Must be a science behind that igloo.
Yeah, the honeycomb.
Yeah.
It's yeah, so it's and I don't know. I'm not sponsored by Yeti, so I'm not going to even try to explain why they put a honeycomb on there. But I'm guessing it's for strength purposes, like sitting on it, or because that's what I normally use it for. Is when I go ice fishing.
Yeah.
It's my seat.
Bet it's warm too.
Yep, and my fish finder fits down in there, and I
Get you a holly carburetor.
yeah.
That's your Edelbrock fan.
Yeah, I got some Metalbrook stuff on the Fairlane.
My friend had a Suzuki Samurai that had glass packs. He had a Holly 4-barrel. He had a Warren Winch KC light.
Oh yeah.
He jacked that piece of crud out, man.
They get a lot of money out of those things now because so many of them just got destroyed back in the day.
All the flipping and all.
Yeah, and they were kind of disposable, but good luck finding one now. You can't find them unless it's like California or they're all I don't know, probably 20.
I seen a YouTube video. The guy ordered the cheapest car he could find. I think it was on Amazon, $2,000, and he put it together and drove it around. It's worth 10 times worse than a Yugo.
I saw a guy, and I'm not even joking with this. Some kid in Vietnam, and everybody or anybody watching this, type in homemade Ferrari Vietnam, and there's like a 16-year-old kid that built his own Ferrari in Vietnam. Except, I mean, from here to the front of the house, it kind of looks like a Ferrari. And then you get closer and it's all like wavy and like the headlights are all wonky. And he gets back behind it. And like I said, it kind of looks like a Ferrari. And he grabs a pull string. He's like, vroom, and it's like, he like pull starts it and then he revs it up. But it's just like 16-year-old kid. He's like, vroom, vroom. It is. I'll show it to you after
I
this.
bet he turned some heads though.
Well, and you read the comments and people are like first laughing at him, and then people are like, you couldn't build that if your life depended on it. And it's like, I know I couldn't. And
you'd never be able to make that same part again.
No, and he had to like spot weld the frame together, and it, like I said, from 30 yards, it looks Ferrari-ish. It really does. But yeah. Yeah, we'll have to YouTube that because it is funny. I was showing my buddy Frank at work today, and we were laughing about it. Then I'm like, dude, you couldn't build that. And he's like, no, he couldn't.
Time replacement parts.
Well, it was all like scratch built.
Homemade each one.
Oh,
each
everything
one would be completely different.
Oh yeah, everything was
like a fingerprint.
Yeah, it was like a fingerprint. It was like a custom. It was like a piece of art. I go, if he spent, because he had to have some kind of money to like put, like the wheel things together, and it had like headlight things, and it was impressive. And I'm like, he had to spend some money. Why didn't he just like buy a used car engine so he didn't have to like get a lawnmower like to start it? Like that would be my only critique, my personal critique. Just put a
81. We had a Buick. Something during the gas crisis. and it had a Ferrari engine in it, a V6, Buick, something, four-door family car. But it was during that gas crunch, so they put a Ferrari engine in it. Man, that thing was still way underpowered. I mean, you couldn't get a scratch in first gear if you tried.
Yeah.
But I had a Mercury Monarch. It had a 351 in it. It had a Windsor block in it. Limited slip. The only year, 1976, they made limited slip rear end in that family car, four door. I could get a scratch all the way up to third gear. Everybody's like, man, I can't believe you can do 140 in a family car.
Remember when we were kids, like that you'd see the speedometer and it would be like 85, and I was like, oh, this car can only go 85. And then you'd see like a Trans Am and the speedometer would go to like 130, and you're like, ooh, this car does 130. But neither one would do 85 or 35. It was
the old cars too. You
yeah.
Go to 120.
Yeah. Yeah, the Fairlane out in the garage, that's what the speedometer. And I had it pegged one time when I was a kid, believe it or not.
Even motorcycles go to like 250 or 280. I don't know what one of them crotch rocket does, opened up on the bottom
Oh, gosh.
or something. Maybe 300.
Nah, because I think it's limited by the tires because of
Yeah,
you got to have like some kind of crazy tire to go over like 200 and something miles an hour, I think.
Fell off.
Oh yeah,
That'd be it.
yep. Be like
cremated or buried, sir.
Yeah, probably cremated
If
at
they
that
found
point.
you.
Yeah, right.
Found your head and your helmet, and that's it. A finger in a glove.
Yeah, there's all that stupid stuff we used to do when we were kids like that, though. It was.
My dad could always tell when I maxed out that Mercury Monarch. I'd do about 130 in it, and I would tease my buddies in high school that we were going to jump the Taylor Bayou River Bridge.
Yeah.
Then I'd slow down to like 80 right before we'd get there. But he went to work in it that Monday, and he goes, come home, and he goes, son, you wound that engine up. I can tell a difference because he used to race cars. He ran that Mobil 1 in it and all that. That was back in 86 and 7. I wish I had that car back now. That was a really powerful car for a sedan.
And there's probably not too many of those out there.
They had another one looked like it called a Marquis, I think.
Yeah,
it was a straight six.
Okay. Yeah, we had a Buick with a straight six.
The guy in school had one wanted to race me. I was like, all right, you got $50. Just put them up right now. Well, let me see what's under the hood. You ain't looking under the hood. All right, I'll still whoop you or keep up with you.
Yeah, that was
the rearview mirror.
That was kind of the great part, is they were kind of like sleeper cars because it was something like your grandfather or your dad would drive. Like they weren't like hot rods.
I remember Papa when they built the Golden Triangle Bridge. It went from across the Sabine River from Texas into Louisiana. The Rainbow Bridge, it was called. He actually helped build it. Granny used to tell a story in their Model T. They could barely put. I wish she was still alive to tell us stories.
Yeah, the top speed.
1 and 2 and Hitler and.
Yeah.
She even talked about Apollo 13. She goes, they ran out of gas, but I learned later it was they almost ran out of amps. They didn't have enough amps to get back buried.
Yeah, to go from driving up that bridge in a Model T to one day, like somebody walking on the moon in one generation. How amazing is that?
I'm glad they fulfilled Kennedy's dream.
Yeah. That's pretty, that's.
They did it in 5 months from the deadline. Then they were running an Apollo mission to the moon every 5 months, besides 13. Apollo 17 was the record breaker. They spent 3.5 days on the moon. More time was spent during Apollo 17 than
all the other ones combined.
Together.
Yep. Yeah, most people don't even realize that. They're like, and now you talk to kids and they're like, oh, we never went to the moon. It's all a hoax. Yeah. Come on.
Gene Cernan and Harrison Smith they were two geologists they sent from the Earth.
Yeah.
They weren't even astronauts on 17.
One of them played golf, right? Didn't it? Was
Yeah.
it?
Oh yeah, he swung it
Yeah.
through the club.
Right. Yeah.
Did you see the one where he says, "We're going to see if Mr. Galileo's right. In my right hand, we have a falcon feather representing our falcon, and here I have a hammer.
And he's like,
And we're going to talk about falling objects in gravity fields. They're supposed to fall the same. They both hit the moon surface at the same time and goes, oh, Galileo was right."
Yep. Yeah, it's funny to think that most people don't even. Well, I was born in 1975, so when was the last Apollo?
73 or 72.
Yes.
October 72.
But I remember, by the time 82, 80, 83, 80, I was like 7, 8 years old, and all that stuff had just happened. So it seemed like it was recent.
Yeah.
And now it seems like it was like
I know,
right?
Complete different. It's like thinking about Hitler or World War.
Yeah, it's almost in that same realm where it doesn't even. But supposedly it's happening soon again.
I remember Buzz Aldrin talking about launch in the Saturn V. He said you get about 2 minutes in stage one, then that separates. He says during staging, when that J2 rocket starts, it coasts for about 3 seconds, and then all of a sudden that J2 engine fires. He said you get from 0 to 5 Gs like that. He said, man, it's a wonder them switches and wires stay together.
That's one guy that I wish I would be able to meet before he passes away, because he's in his 90s now, is Buzz Aldrin. Yeah.
I couldn't believe Armstrong when he died.
Yeah, he was.
None of them guys had cancer or something
No.
from all the radiation. Now, Michael Collins, he's bald. I think he's got cancer. He was the commander of Apollo 11 that just ordered the moon.
I don't even know. So there was 12 guys that walked on the moon? How many are even alive now? 5, 6?
I think 4 or 5.
And Buzz Aldrin.
Gene Cernan's still alive. Harrison Smith, they're still alive.
There ain't too many of them left, and they're all. And that's going to be one thing that, like, one day they're going to be gone, and it's going to be like, oh man, because they used to go to bookstores.
Kids now they
don't even care about that.
When they got back from the moon, they were ticker tape thing parade.
It was like when I was a kid, I remember Chuck Yeager was at some bookstore, and it was like, I don't know, what do I care about this guy for? And my dad was like, oh, we're going to see him, and I actually remember seeing him. Yeah, the first. Yeah. But it's the same type of thing. It's like you just read it in a book and you don't realize they're real guys and they're not going to be around forever. And
he was like the Yuri Gagarin of the US.
Yeah, right. Oh, geez.
I don't think Russia would have ever made it to the moon. I think they just told the media that to speed us up. They said they're fixing to launch to orbit the moon. They just barely had a ground or space rocket.
Well, they had the Sputnik thing was still a real scare, and
then they launched a Sputnik 2 with Laika dog in it.
So it probably
become military.
It had to be lit a fire under the people's asses. Hey, these guys are doing stuff, and if we don't start try keeping up,
that's a big driver there. The most fascinating thing that ever amazed me as far as contests is that Tsar bomb that Russia created outside the convention that they weren't even supposed to. That treaty, it was you could hear it 600 miles away. It was way up in Nueve something that island.
Yeah.
And they gave them 50% chance of surviving the guys that dropped the bomb
right
off with the parachute.
Yeah, I've looked at that area that they dropped that bomb on in Google Earth, and you can still see it's you can see this huge crater. And
now nuclear warheads are 5,000 times more stronger than the one fat man, a little boy. It's amazing how much uranium they can compact in those things now. I guess it's more enriched now than it ever
Right.
was.
It's like
We'd
distilling
never
down a.
survive anything like that.
No.
6,000 of those going off estimated. We really don't know how much each other got.
No. Oh, let's hope it doesn't happen. And you know what? I've met some pretty cool Russian people over the years, and they don't. I mean, we're all people, right? Like they don't hate the United States, and
Yeah.
it's all the governments. Like I can't.
And who leaves it up to the government to kill the whole entire world?
Right? Yeah, I don't hate a Russian guy or a
Yeah.
Ukrainian guy or a
I
who.
think it's actually good to have it because that keeps us.
Yeah, maybe.
In a way, now. 1962 or one was pretty close. That Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, it was
If it weren't for JFK, I think we would have. It would have been worse. If Nixon would have been in, oh God, or Johnson, oh.
Well, Johnson killed Nixon, JFK, but well,
Yeah.
no,
I watched that documentary about Deep Throat. That
Yeah.
Watergate. That was really.
If you go down that whole rabbit hole, it is wild because like the whole magic bullet theory stuff, and it is. You'll never convince me that there's not more going on behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, maybe
even now. I mean, all the time.
Well, and they had that what like a couple years ago where they wanted to do the Freedom of Information Act, and they pushed it off for another like 30 years or something. It was supposed to come up where they had to release it all, and they're like, well, we'll release everything except this because this is too whatever classified, and it's not getting we'll be dead. And why would they do that?
That's just pushing it to somebody else to take care of. It amazes me. They're like, we don't want our grandkids and children to grow up in a polluted world. Well, then why aren't you doing something about all these
right
plastic bottles in the ocean?
Now watch me flush this plastic bottle down the toilet. Kabloosh! Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Golf balls. No.
We talked about all this stuff already. It's ridiculous.
They need to quit making them plastic bags and bottles. Just go back to glass and carry your own little recyclable bag. That's it. That's what I do.
Yep. The Hobo Code.
Yep.
Can you name the rules of the Hobo Code to us right now?
Be natural. What's that?
Can you name the rules of the Hobo Code?
Yeah, the 15 of them. I don't know them all in order, but it's almost like the 10 Commandments. You know them in your heart. It's common sense, more or less, than anything. It's like, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not worship any other god than me. That's 10 Commandments, but
it's like respect other people's property.
Like respect property.
Yeah, don't draw attention.
Don't wear out a place somebody else might need to use it. Don't panhandle too much. Don't ever, ask for too much.
Yeah, it's all
always
stuff.
Keep your cap clean.
Yeah, it's common sense stuff that I'm convinced if everybody lived by the Hobo Code, there'd be almost no problems in this world.
The natural world.
Yeah, right.
And actually, it would probably be better than the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, probably not right. Wrong with that. I mean, it's a code of ethics, and in today's world, that's what a lot of people don't have.
They put morals aside now.
Yeah.
People know better, but they choose to not do the right thing. It's just so easy to do the right thing.
Yeah,
it
really
is. To do the bad thing too.
Well, hey, we all have that little bird on our shoulder telling us, like,
the red one and the blue one,
and you know which one's right and you know which one's wrong.
That's what counts, as long as we know that.
Yep. Yep. And with that, can we have a final word of wisdom about anything?
Keep your chin up, no matter how bad the things get. I swear to you, no matter how bad things get, they will get better. I've been down to my last dollar in the middle of nowhere, starving to death, wondering how am I? No one's gonna give me any money or food, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's a $20 bill laying in the grass, or some lady will just be getting out of church and give me a sack of food for 2 or 3 days worth of food, and I think of it every time. Thank you, God. There you go. There it is. So you'll never ever go hungry if you believe in that. Truly believe in that out on the rails.
Yep.
But you learn, it takes, when I first started riding, I thought, how am I going to learn all this stuff these old timers learn? It, it just takes time and experience. It takes trial and error. And take care of your eyes and your liver. I mean, it's okay to drink, but just don't just do it every day.
Be smart about it, right? Your body is your temple. You only get one of those.
Yep. And believe me, it wears out faster than you think. And time, you're old quicker than you think too.
Yep.
I thought I was going to live to 80 years old, and that's already passed, it seems. It took 45 years to graduate to get 18 years old, and now I'm living in dog years. My last 30 years took 6 weeks.
That's the way it seems, though, right?
I can imagine what my poor 83-year-old dad, he'll be 83 on the 17th. I can imagine how fast he's flying by. I wish I knew a way to slow that down. I know when I'm riding trains, I get a sense of my mind running slower. So I know that's why I'll be doing that forever. This apartment, a lot of people say condemn me. They're like, you're not a hobo, you got an apartment.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, look at the health stuff I've gone through. And now that antibiotic and taking care of myself, everything has done a complete 180. And I haven't felt this good in 2.5 years.
Yep.
And I am ready to attack the world again.
Yep. Good for you, buddy. I consider you one of my best friends. I really do. And I love you to death. I'm giving you a hug.
It, brother.
And, yeah, you're the real deal, and you're so inspirational, and you inspire me I'm getting choked up even talking about it.
Thanks, man.
You're an inspirational guy, and you inspire more than just me. I mean, you have, 200,000 people that follow you, and yeah, you're an amazing human.
And I like hearing that because it makes me strive harder too.
Yeah, you're a good dude, man.
And another good pointer is be as transparent as you can. Don't try to hide anything. People don't care if you have a certain ailment or whatever. You know, some people might have the same thing and help you through it.
Yep.
You never know.
We're all human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We're all flawed, and my phone's ready to die here, so I'm going to say goodbye, and
All right.
I appreciate you talking with me tonight.
Well, you bet. Anytime.
Right.
And thanks for the shower and the awesome room to stay in.
All right, buddy.
Man.
Bye, everybody.
Later.